back to Opposites Attract Podcast. This is Sonia Ramirez, your girl, and I'm sitting next to
Miguel Ramirez.
What's up, everybody? How was your day?
How was your week?
How was your life?
Going. And make sure you guys go to our website, oppositesattractpodcast.com. Follow us everywhere at Opposite Pod. Like we've said before, the best thing you can do is share a clip with somebody else. Follow our clips channel, which is taking off. We got all kinds of new subscribers all the time and more views and all that. So yeah, little by little it's taking off. So make sure you guys find your favorite clip, share it with somebody else, let them know that the podcast is out there. Tell them to like, subscribe, comment, all that stuff. It all helps us out.
All that good stuff.
Yep.
So what's up, babe?
Man, it's been busy as shit as usual. I want everybody's got to get tired of hearing us be like, oh, we're so busy all the time. You know what I mean? Like shit. We're all busy, right?
Yep. We are all busy.
But some busier than others, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah. It's important, too, that while we're doing what we're doing, that we don't forget, like, what's important.
Yeah. Yeah, that was good. Yesterday, you had pointed that out, that we have been really busy, you know, and it is good to remind ourselves from time to time, like what. It's not like that we don't, because I do try to focus on what's important, but you do get mixed up with things that are happening and having to do this and I got to do that. And some things are time sensitive, you know, and you have to get these things done.
Yeah.
But you always got to come back to that. What is important?
Yeah. So let's see. Yesterday, Miguel was cutting down the palm tree in the back with my father-in-law. And after that, you started cleaning carpets.
Yeah.
But when you get focused, you get really like laser focused. And I felt very disconnected from you. Like it took me back to the time when we first were going through our challenges and we started looking into the 5 love languages.
When did you start getting these feelings? Recently. That you're talking about right now.
Normally.
When did you start getting these feelings recently that you're talking about right now?
Maybe a week or 2 ago. I don't recall exactly, but it's been a while. It's been a bit.
Okay.
You know, and, you know, normally, well, okay, I'll just give you some examples. And, you know, like in the morning, you know, you get up out of bed. There's no, like, kiss, or there's no, even on the weekend, like there's no affection, or you know, there it was just like we go to sleep, we wake up, and there was no, and I am physical touch, we know that.
Yeah.
And when that physical touch goes away, that's when I start noticing. But just hear me out. So here I am throwing tantrums, like literally, like just throwing tantrums. And I get to that point where I'm like, fuck it. Right? Like I just, whatever. It is what it is. I'm going to do me and just leave it at that. But that's just not the case. Right? Because then my thoughts aren't, you know, very positive, and I'm sitting with resentment and right, like throwing a tantrum.
Yeah.
And you know, you've been posting a lot.
No, I haven't.
And doing all these. You're in your phone a lot. You're watching videos a lot, right? And I'm watching you, and I see you, and I see you enjoying yourself. Like you're enjoying what it is that you're doing. I'm cooking. You're sitting in there, but there's no communication. I'm cutting, dicing. and you're flipping through social media. And so yesterday was pretty tough for me because now I'm emotional, but I don't want to show you that I'm emotional. So I go drop off Joey at a birthday party. And at this point, I'm just like needing to let this out because it's been festering already. And so I go on a drive, and sitting with these thoughts and trying to figure it out. But when you're so caught up in the thought, it's very hard to not really sit to see where is this coming from.
Yeah.
And what is so funny is that you have no clue.
I was having the time of my life.
Yeah. You have no clue what's going on within me, like whatsoever. Like I'm in my own shit and I'm creating my own thoughts and I'm creating my own story and all this shit. And then you and I, in the evening, we started talking. And I realized here I am throwing a tantrum, being pissed off. And you're just like having a good time. And so not even aware of what's going on within me.
That's not true. I could tell something's been going on.
And so, yeah, because you did ask me, are you all right?
I've been asking you.
And I'm like, yes, because I wasn't sure how to bring this up. I thought we were done with this.
Done with what?
Like this part of our relationship.
What is this?
Of having to fight for the thing that you already know.
What is this?
It's not a new thing.
Okay.
And because I was so much in my feelings, I didn't want it to come out a certain way. So I'm like, maybe I need to let go before I even bring this up to you. Do you understand? Because I don't want to come at you sideways either because I'm so caught up in my emotions. But the thought was, is he losing interest? Is like, those were the thoughts. Because the kiss has been feeling more like something that you just do versus something that you feel. It's a peck here. Good morning. Good night. Normally we're cooking together. Normally we're doing things together. But this is the story. Like, this is how I was feeling. But like I said, you were having the time of your life, doing what you were doing. Which
was chopping down a tree and cleaning carpets.
Right.
Not fucking clubbing or going out to hang out with the boys.
But
chopping down a tree and cleaning carpets with my headphones in.
Yes. And there were times where you weren't doing that.
And when I wasn't doing that, I know you say that I'm on my phone a lot, like scrolling through social media. And yeah, like I'll watch fight stuff. I'm on YouTube checking stuff out. But there is a big part of that too, where I'm not scrolling through I am on my phone, but I'm looking something up. I'm trying to send something, trying to finish something, trying to jot down an idea, trying to look up an idea is different than fucking around on social media.
I know. And as busy as you get, don't forget what's important. It's like, be aware. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, be aware. You know, while I'm cooking in the kitchen and you're flipping through social media, or you're looking at, you're looking at videos, because I'm seeing it, right? That's not the norm with us. And I guess I was missing that part of when we're cooking together, we're dancing, we're singing, we're playing music together. Because you sitting on the table, because I think I may have asked you to be with me. Yeah. And you sat at the table, but you were not with me.
Probably because I was still in the middle of finishing something up that I was thinking about, that I was doing, that I was, in the middle of.
So here's where the communication comes. Okay. Hey, babe, I'm doing something. Let me finish this up, and then we can do this together, or whatever. But it's just having that awareness. Like, for me, I realized that I was putting all that. It was me. But I didn't want to come at you a certain way because of how I was feeling.
Right.
You know, so instead I was just avoiding it. And because I saw that you were super, you were outside, with Jeff, like, I knew it wasn't the time. And I should have probably brought it up sooner.
Probably not while he's chopping down the tree.
Right. But this is the stuff that happens in relationships.
Yeah.
So. And it's been a while.
How many times has this happened? In the, 17 years now?
Not many.
Not many, but every once in a while you get a feeling, or like, we're busy. Like, it comes in rashes.
It's been a while.
From time to time.
Yeah. It's been a while though.
Okay.
Because it was out of the norm.
Okay. And maybe not exactly just this, but there's other times too. And what is, you just said it. What was your thought?
What was my thought?
What was your thought that was going through your mind?
Oh, yes.
What was it?
What was it? Maybe I don't remember.
Maybe
exactly.
He's losing interest.
Yeah. I know that's me.
That's not the first time either.
Yeah. And I know that that's me.
Last night, like you said, we got a chance to kind of sit down and hang out and be together for a little while. And there was a point where we were talking about, and we got into this deep conversation about our beliefs and this and that. And you were kind of like looking at the differences in our beliefs. Mm-hmm. And you were getting emotional about the whole thing.
Mm-hmm. But it was a high emotion, right?
I don't know.
It was love and joy, and it was.
I don't know if it was all love and joy. I don't know if there was anything underlying it.
Oh. Mm-mm.
No?
Mm-mm.
I don't know. It seems similar to he's losing interest, maybe. Or something. Wherever that comes from.
Yeah.
And I told you, like, my mind doesn't even, like, I don't go that like, it just doesn't head down that path. It's like, this is it. Like for me, this is it. You, our kids, our family, this is it. And there is nothing more than that. Like there is nothing else. There is that this is it.
Mm-hmm.
And when you know, there's nothing to fucking worry about. Like the emotion, the whatever, like it's like, well, I mean, what are we even talking about here? You know, I can't remember.
No, I remember you saying that.
There was something that, like, I'm looking at you and we're having this conversation.
Mm-hmm.
And it's funny because we were also talking about that show that we watched, American Primeval.
Yeah.
And it's crazy because that's, like we said, that's also love. Fucking wash the dog. I got hair everywhere. Holy shit. It's all over me. In my mouth. Holy crap.
Drink some water. Swallow it.
Swallow it down. You know? And like I'm thinking about these, like it's almost when that is your thought, like that, what you would be willing to do ultimately. I mean, ultimately
to protect your family,
giving my life, like, yeah, there is nothing. There is nothing like that is when nothing else matters. It's easy to understand that type of stuff when you think of it all the way through. Like what I would do for my wife, for my kids, for my family, for my friends, for the people I love.
mm-hmm.
I don't know how to exactly put that, but that's why, like, when you're telling me about these things, or like maybe I'm losing interest, but I'm thinking like I would fucking murder anybody in sight for anybody, any one of you. Like that is it. I would protect you guys to the death. There's not much to think about. There.
And after our conversation, that's when I realized that I created all of it. And I just laughed about it after. Because I know this, I see it, I teach it. How strong the mind is, the thought.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's freaking insane. We also started talking about, you were sharing with me that when you were vacuuming, that you looked out the window.
Yeah. But before we get into that, there was something about, you were saying like when I wake up in the morning, right?
Yeah, I know. But go ahead.
It sounds like like you said, the story that you're creating. And you're only thinking about you.
Right.
And these are things, and this is something that you probably don't even know. But it stuck with me, and you probably see it from time to time with the kids. Maybe not, but for one, when I was growing up, my dad liked to sleep. My dad would sleep until 1 o'clock in the afternoon, 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I would wake up at 7, 8. And he did not like to be woken up. And it was almost like disrespectful when you wake people up when they're sleeping. And for one, I think it was Friday on my day off, I got up at 5:30 in the morning. The other days I got up at 6:30, 7. And I'm like, it's still early. And if you would like to sleep, then get some sleep. I don't want to wake you. I'll see you when you wake up.
It's interesting. So it's funny. Well, you know this about me. I'm a very light sleeper. And you are like a ninja. You really are. You're
I try to be
very quiet.
I try to be. I don't want to wake you up.
You use your flashlight on your phone
Yeah.
to get ready. You don't turn on the lights. Very considerate. I see that. I see that too. Except on a Saturday. I'm giving you permission. Sunday.
Yeah.
Friday. What the hell,
and
babe?
that's the thing is that's the way I see it is that those are the days to sleep in.
Yeah.
Because we've been waking up.
Babe, you wake me up sometimes. 2 o'clock in the morning. 3 o'clock in the morning.
Sure.
How happy am I when you wake me up?
True. Hit the sound effects, yo.
Which one is it?
No, you don't know. You gotta learn still. Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So just so you know, I understand. But again, for me to giving you permission too. Because me, and maybe you find this disrespectful. So let me know.
No,
because you'll be next to me and I'm just like kissing your face.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
A lot of times, yeah. I don't have a problem with it.
Like you're asleep and I see you and I'm just looking at you and I'm just like kissing on you.
Yeah.
You're pitching your ass. Like I'm just that. I'm physical touch.
Yeah.
You know? And so there's times like I am. So yeah. Now, how do you feel about that?
What do you mean?
Like,
I don't.
you
I don't.
okay
Yeah, I'm
with
good
that?
with that. I don't have any problems with that. No.
Okay.
Now, what about expectations?
What do you mean?
Because there is expectations. It seems. I don't know.
manner?
I might be wrong.
In
But
what
like you
manner?
have expectations
In what?
of me.
For what? I'm
For
trying
when-
to understand.
For when I wake up, for the attention that you have to get, for like.
I just feel, and again, this is maybe me, and you may not be aware because you get the attention from me. There's never a time where you are complaining about not receiving from me. So if there's a time where I just stop, you may notice it because you're so used to receiving the attention.
No,
I don't know.
There's been times, and I've mentioned it on here, like I'll say something and then I stop talking because I notice you're not paying attention or you're busy doing something. And I'm like, okay, I think to myself, right now is not a good time. That's a different thought than having the expectation that you should be listening to me. Or she's always busy. It's just like, she's got stuff going on. Maybe later or maybe not, whatever. Moving on.
So
And
relationships, we are constant growth. It really is. Just because we are where we are today in our relationship doesn't mean that we stop doing the thing that got us to where we are today.
And but like what I was saying before, and it kind of goes back to what I was saying before, these things happen in cycles. Like it happens every once in a while, right? We're going to get, like, we're busy as shit right now with all the different things that we have going on.
Right.
With your podcast, with your sound healings that you're doing, you're doing more events, you're trying to get more clients, you're working on your retreat, you're doing conference calls, you're doing all this shit. I'm buying tickets for all these concerts. Like all kinds of shit has changed recently. Like this weekend, I was supposed to be recording podcast. Instead, that fell out. Well, guess what? Other shit that has to be done got thrown in the mix. Chopping down the tree, cleaning the carpets, all these things.
Yep.
But when you go back and you think about the bigger picture of the whole thing, we're busy.
Yes.
It's a cycle. We'll be back. It's fine.
Even though we have all these things going on, listen, we have. Never get too busy to not be able to.
I understand. But it's fine to feel like, okay, it's been a while. Like, and we have been busy. Like, just like you said last night, when we noticed, like, you're like, it's been a while since we've actually, like, sat and talked like this. I mean, it was like once usually we do it on this podcast, but it happens throughout the week. It hasn't been happening very much throughout the week because we're busy doing shit, and then we just lay down, and we don't even really watch a lot of stuff because we're falling asleep as soon as we're putting stuff on. But you know that it's just a busy period. That's all it is. Instead of, is he losing interest? No.
No, I get that.
He's got trees to chop.
Yeah. No, I get that. That I get. It wouldn't have even, so that's, and I know, we both know where that's coming from. Right? We both know where that what was happening was triggering.
Yeah. And I was also thinking maybe you're on your period or something. Or you're about to start, because that's like,
Yeah.
could be.
Yeah.
I don't know. And I don't know if it's a good thing to say that out loud. I thought about it in the last couple days.
Joey does that to Audrey.
Really?
Are you on your
But I don't know if
period?
that's like the smartest thing. Like sometimes I'm like, maybe I shouldn't.
But if you notice
It's
that.
like, what's wrong with you?
But hold on. But if you notice that, why not just
Say it.
give me a hug or slap me on the ass or give me a kiss? It's that simple. I'm pretty simple. I'm not a very high maintenance kind of woman, right? I'm happy, with a slap on the ass or coming and giving me like a hug.
Yeah.
I'm simple.
I don't know if this is true or not, but I mean, I've kind of seen it. I've kind of seen it online, like looking stuff up and in our relationship. But like when something's going on, you'll see a lot of times like a woman will want a guy to do something, or a lot of times to do something. I think, but they won't say it. Like, and then the guy's response is always like, why did you just fucking tell me? Like, we could have avoided the whole last week of all of this shit if you would have just fucking told me, because there's a difference. And as much as like we're very similar in a lot of ways, and we're also very different in a lot of ways. And it's okay. It doesn't make one right or one wrong or whatever. But it does seem like for guys, you always see that. It's like, you gotta fucking beat them over the fucking head with the shit. Because if you try to beat around the bush, they're never gonna get it. You know what I mean?
Yes. But would you say I'm that way?
Yeah, sometimes.
Okay.
And
more often than not?
No, because I mean, over time in our relationship, we don't hold things as personal. Like, it doesn't last that long. Like, I'll ask you or you ask me. Like, we'll figure it out.
Yeah. And I think too, like, it's just how you communicate, right? Because I've been trying, and I think that the way what I've been doing has been a bit of an annoyance to you because I know I said something about your phone. And one time we were sitting down and I'm like, I took your phone and I'm like, okay, no more. Or I did something instead of coming from love. That was more of and I know you, so that's not something that really works for you. So I could have, I don't know, said it differently. But it's like, I think I brought it up like twice, but then you gave me the evil eye. And then I'm like, all right, well whatever, let him be.
Okay.
I'm just like,
yeah,
that's what
I understand. Like you were telling me that I was on my phone a lot. Mm-hmm. And you were like, okay, tomorrow maybe we can hang out without any phones. And you know what I'm thinking? We just spent $1,000 on concert tickets. I had a great idea of the monkeys ate mushrooms thing, and that's a perfect place to do that. And I want to be ready, which means I have to work on the logo, which then you start looking into that means I need to learn a new program, which means I also have to digitize an image that my brother made for me. I have to design my business cards because I need them for that. Mm-hmm. I need to get them in and ordered so that they're here in time. I have my fighting podcast that we're halfway through the month and I got to get another episode in before all this other shit happens. Mm-hmm. If I'm going to record a podcast for the fighting podcast, that's extra work, which means I already have work for this podcast to do. Mm-hmm. That means I have to get this done ahead of time or in my spare time so that I have more spare time to do all these other things that I need to get done. Mm-hmm. So when you tell me that you've been on your phone more than usual, in my mind, I'm like, I don't give a fuck. Mm-hmm. It is what it is. It's not always going to be that way, but that is the season that I'm in right now.
So none of this was communicated. None of this was communicated.
But you know that all these things are happening.
But none of this was communicated.
And that's what it's been for days and the last
But
weeks.
Do you see? But none of this was communicated.
Right.
And, you know, I understand you have all that. And I also see you watching a lot of videos.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
It's funny because if you come in and you see me watching videos, mm-hmm. like I might have, a lot of times I might have like a fighting video on or like an MMA recap time. And I'm working at the, like I'm doing that. I don't know
how you do that.
I'm doing that in between times. Like this, the times that I don't have to like think and I'm waiting for a video to process or I'm waiting for the AI to listen to the episode transcript or whatever. On the side, I'm like watching a video for a couple minutes and then in between I pause it and I get back to work. And then when I'm back to a minute of spare time, I'll go back to watching the video.
And that's okay. I'm talking about when I'm cooking in the kitchen.
Yeah.
When you're supposed to be with me, present in the moment.
Okay. Yeah.
Those little bit of times. I don't care if it's 10 minutes.
No, and you said we do need I need to be more aware of it. And we do have to make more time together when we have a lot of shit going on. Just a little bit
of time.
Yeah.
You know, like I don't...
Like focus time just between the two of us. And with the kids too, because we can't be too busy for them either.
But this is the shit that's going to forever happen. It really is.
And that's the way I look at it. Like I said, in my mind, it's like this UFC fighter, Sean Strickland, it's like to the death.
Yeah.
To the death.
Yes. And it's hilarious.
So nothing fucking matters. Like nothing matters. If it's to the death, who gives a fuck?
Those moments count.
They do.
Wow.
It's not that it's not that who gives a fuck. It's just that you know what is important, like the ultimate outcome, like what, so at the end of the day, I see this as like a busy season. But it is true that we have to keep these things in mind.
Yep. Even in, like with Audrey.
There has to be a balance.
So, oh my gosh. Yeah. Anyway, so I noticed something going on with her. And yes, I was busy. I had a lot of shit going on. But I went to go check in on her. And she needed me, but she wasn't voicing it. She wasn't voicing how she was feeling. But because I was present and aware, I was able to see that she needed me. She needed, just someone to hug her. And you were there to witness that time.
Yeah.
And I hugged her and she just started bawling. And then you came in and she felt, this was beautiful, by the way. She felt her daddy's touch. And that's when she even started crying harder.
Yeah.
And it didn't take long just to be there to hug her. That's what I'm talking about, is that.
Yeah.
But when we're so busy that we're not paying attention to that,
yeah. Yeah, that's important. Now, what about, like, with you, in different ways, in different situations? Like, I'll ask you what's going on. And, like, we were talking about expectations earlier, and I don't know what the expectations are, but sometimes it seems like I'm not meeting them. And it's like, what's up? What's happening? What's going on? And then at a certain point, it's like, all right.
yeah.
I mean, I got a tree to chop.
Yeah.
I got carpets to clean. I'm going to put on my headphones. I'm going to have the time of my life. And when you're ready, we'll figure it out.
It should never get to that point, though. Right? But I wasn't ready to talk because I was angry and I didn't want things to come out. Right? Like, I felt like I had to sit with this.
But that's happened a bunch of times.
What?
Where, I mean, maybe not specifically with something like this, but in different situations where, I don't know if cleaning is like the same thing or whatever. Like, you would start cleaning, and I don't know if in the beginning, like, you would want me to start, and it's like, you know what? Mm-hmm. I'm detaching from all of, like, I'm gonna go do my thing, and when you're done with whatever the hell's happening over there,
babe, that
I'll be
stuff
back.
hasn't, like, no, none of that.
All I'm saying is that there's times that it's just like, what's going on? What's going on? Like, I don't know. Like,
yeah, no,
am I supposed to, like, sit around, like, being a detective?
No, but I communicate very well. This hasn't happened in a while. And like I said, I was throwing a tantrum. I was trying to get your attention when I said, why don't we put the phones away? Or when I called you into the kitchen, when I was making dinner and you sat at the table and you were flipping through videos, right? And then I asked you a question and then you gave me an answer, but then you went right back on again. Like, I was like, hello, but you just weren't getting the hint. I didn't know. And at that point, I was just like, are you fucking kidding me?
I wish I could, like, find that, because I have a feeling, because I'm feeling what you're talking about. And I was trying to find something, which is what it was. I was like, you're talking to me while I'm trying to find something.
Okay.
And
So what I would say, and which I say to you at times, because I cannot focus and then hear you. I can't do that. Even the kids, I'm like, Joey, you need to wait because I'm finishing something up right now and I'm not hearing anything you're telling me right now. So if that was the case, be like, hey, babe.
That's what it was.
You know, I want to speak with you or I want to, but I'm looking something up right now and I just cannot listen to. But then I would have been like, oh, okay. I wouldn't have got angry at that.
Yeah, because that's why, like, you're talking to me. Like, I was looking at something and you're talking to me. I answer you and I go right back to what I'm looking at because I'm not done looking up what I was trying to find.
But do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know?
Was there an expectation there?
To be present in the moment? Probably. I asked you to go in the kitchen to be with me while I was cooking for a reason. Why would I ask you to go sit in there?
I understand. And I went into the kitchen because I wanted to be there, but I was finishing something up.
Right. But none of that was communicated.
We are individual beings. And that's just what it is.
Okay. But do you understand that communication, if you would have communicated that to me, I would have been like, okay.
Yeah.
So maybe we both can open that door back up and become more aware and be more present, regardless of how busy and all this shit we have going on. You know? Yeah. And you and I, when we started talking about, just everything, you were sharing with me a moment that you had while you were vacuuming. You want to share that with everybody?
Yeah, that was funny. Yeah, because like I was telling you, I was cleaning the carpets and I wasn't like by the front of the house where I can see like the out the front windows. And I'm up on the second floor vacuuming, looking out the window. And as I'm looking out the window, I see somebody walk by. And it was just something that caught my attention from, like, I see this person's hair and it was pink. And then it was pink with like this, like bleach blonde, yellowish, light yellow, whatever. Then with like a bright shirt, with a vest, with like these glasses. And it was just one of these things that it was just like everything that I saw was kind of out of the ordinary. I wouldn't say like it's weird because it's not weird.
It's just different.
It was different.
Right.
It was out of the ordinary, right?
Right.
And it was like hair, glasses, shirt, vest, like shorts, maybe, like rainbow shoes, like, and it was It was just like bam, 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 like, and it was funny because when we were talking about it, we had this moment of like understanding how we see things differently. Mm-hmm. And you were saying like how you would see something like that.
Right.
Right.
But I would clump it all together and be like, that's crazy.
Something's odd. Something's odd, right?
Yeah.
Or like that's out of the ordinary, right?
But I wouldn't have the details. Like
that I had.
You know what I'm saying? He had pink hair.
It was fun.
But I wouldn't be like, oh, he had rainbow shoes on. Like the detail that I told you gave me, right. The details that you gave me, I just started laughing because in that moment, I'm like, holy shit.
Yeah.
That's how you are so detailed and how you see things, like how your brain and how
my brain works.
See things. And I just started laughing.
Because like I was explaining to you yesterday, like it started at the hair, the pink hair with the blonde, it's like pink highlighter hair. And then with the pattern colored shirt with like bright colors on, it was like dark, like underlying and then bright on top of it, like flamingos or some type of shit. And then a vest. And then these glasses that were kind of like, I don't know if it's like the Beetle. Like, I don't know if it was round or whatever. Yeah. I don't know. Different style that you wouldn't normally see or whatever. And then the jeans, and then the shoes that were like oversized Crocs that were rainbow colored or whatever. And I was like for you said like you would see it all as one thing. And like for me, I think it like started out with the pink hair, and then I went down and I was like, oh, there's something else. And then the next thing, and then the next thing, until I worked my way from the hair down to the shoes.
Right.
And all the way down, like I was telling you, I was thinking to myself, like, what the fuck is going on here? Like every time I like looking all the way, you know? And for you, it's like this, like the whole thing is just like, what?
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah.
But for me, it starts with the pink. It's like, what the fuck is going on all the way down?
See, but if you can understand that about your partner,
yeah.
Right? Like if you can understand that about your partner, it would help you. You will understand.
It's funny because we see the same thing, but we see it differently.
Exactly. Isn't that weird? Like, it's just crazy.
Yeah.
You know? And that's how, like, you are, I'm more, like, bigger picture, kind of like, right? And that's why you can recall shit.
Yeah.
Your memory, like you can recall shit and details and sounds and smells and all this stuff, you know? And I'm just like, yeah, that felt really good. Or that looked amazing. But the details aren't there. It's just, I know what I saw and I know how I felt. But if you were to ask me what color were the shoes, I would have just been like some crazy ass bright color.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. Yeah, you know what? It kind of reminds me of something that I brought up to you, but I don't know if we ever brought it up on this podcast. I went down, like you go, probably one of those times where you're like, get off your damn phone when I'm like going down rabbit holes or whatever. Because that does happen. But I had found the people that don't have it started with people that don't have an inner monologue. Like, dude, if you haven't looked it up, it's weird. Like, look up, there's a video of this guy that interviews a girl. It's a friend of his. And she does not have an inner monologue. Like, she does not hear thoughts in her head. And maybe for some of you, like, it's a small percentage of people. And for some people, that's how they find out. Like somebody mentions it and they're like, wait, what? You guys have like a voice in your head?
Right. Yeah.
And they're like, I don't have that. Wait a minute. And they're like, hold on. It's fucking mind boggling.
Yeah.
And once I started learning about that, then I found out there's something, I don't know what that's called. It's probably very similar, but there's something else called anaphantasia, where you don't have the ability to recall pictures in your head. So kind of like the guy yesterday, I told you last night when I was explaining the dude with the pink highlighter hair, with the blonde, with the glasses, with the shirt,
like you
with
can
the vest,
see it.
I have it in my head, the guy walking, he's mid-stride walking by the house.
Yeah.
In my mind.
Yes. That's crazy.
And one thing that they were taught, and I guess there's different levels of this stuff, but there's like for some people that if you tell them, close your eyes and picture an apple.
Right.
They can't.
I feel that's me. Remember, we were talking about this.
That's fucking crazy, dude.
We were talking about this.
Like if you close your eyes, tell me what think of an apple. What color is the apple?
I know the apple's red.
Do you see a red apple?
No.
Can you picture a red apple?
No. That's why, remember I was asking you? We had this conversation a while back, but you weren't aware of that.
Yeah. No, you mentioned it to me, but maybe I just didn't want to believe you.
For instance, you're a jerk. So when I go to these events, right?
Dude, that's crazy.
And they walk us, you're in the forest. You come by a tree. You see a door. Open the door, see the knob, open the door. in this door you have, and I'm just like, oh, come on now, because I can't visualize any of that. I can feel like, it's crazy. Yeah.
Yeah. I wonder.
That's interesting to me, though, because I even questioned one time I was talking to you about something, and I'm like, you can see it in your head. And you said yes. And I'm like, that's interesting.
Yeah.
And it's frustrating sometimes because when I meditate, you know, like people, you know, tell you these things. And that's why you hear me say I'm a feeler. Like there's some people that have some awesome visualizations.
Yeah. Yeah.
Though when I've taken psilocybin, I've seen
you have
colors, just like, you know, the colors. Maybe that might help me.
That's interesting. That'd be a weird study. That'd be an interesting study.
Yeah.
To give like people that don't have that anaphantasia, like they can't picture things in their mind, giving them mushrooms and seeing what happens.
Right.
Ooh,
you should look that up. Actually, you should ask
we
chat
should look
about
that up.
that. Because if it says no, then maybe I'm just disconnected from, I don't know, my imagination, you know?
So I guess the one of not having an inner monologue is anendophagia. Anendophagia. ANENDOPHASIA. And then not being able to see things is anaphantasia. That's anaphantasia. But
Holy smokes.
dude, it's go down those rabbit holes. It'll fucking twist your mind in a knot. But I wonder like what the benefit, like, cause I wonder how, yeah, I mean, there's gotta be positives to it. There's gotta be, you know, pros and cons to both.
Yeah.
You know?
I got to look that up. So wait, the one where you can't visualize is
Anaphantasia.
Anaphantasia. Okay. Yeah. I'm going to have to look that up.
But you know what? One of the funniest things that I was like going down this rabbit hole of researching these things. And I'm like, dude, that's crazy that people don't have this voice in their head.
Right.
You know, like I talk to myself all the fucking time. You know, like, I got to get this done. You know, just like when I'm writing an email, the email's going through my head and I'm typing it out and then now I'm reading it to myself. And that's the thing, reading it to myself. I was watching the interview with the guy that was interviewing the girl, and she was saying that when she does that, like she can't read it to herself in her head. Like at the minimum, she has to like lip read it. Like she's not making sounds, but she's like, I'm like probably even like very low.
So
she has to kind of like do that. But I don't do any of that.
Doesn't she say she reads out loud?
Yeah,
she can't read it
pretty much. Like, yeah, it's like it may be very low, but she's still reading it out loud, you know? Where for me, my mouth is shut, my lips aren't moving. It's just in my head. I'm reading it back to myself in my mind.
Right.
You know, and when I'm thinking about all these things, I'm like, that's crazy that people don't have that voice that they talk to in their head. And then I was like, wait a minute. That's what crazy people do. And I'm like, no. It's that they don't have the right one talking to them. You know what I mean? It's like, which one's talking to you? And I'm like, oh, that's not the one. You're not supposed to be talking to that one. You're fucking crazy. You know what I mean? And I'm like, dude, it's this consciousness thing is fucking weird, man.
Isn't it?
Existence is weird.
Yeah.
It is freaking weird. Yeah. But it's, dude, it's weird. But man, it is so damn interesting.
Yeah.
It is so freaking cool. Like all of it. Like how did we get here? What the fuck is this? What is going on? There is just so much weird shit out there.
Is it out there?
Or is it in here?
Exactly.
Who the fuck knows? Actually, yeah. It's in here. It's all bouncing around. It's nuts.
Right?
Yeah. So yeah, if you're hearing the wrong voices, you might be crazy. They're gonna lock you up. You better be hearing the right ones, talking to the right ones.
Oh my gosh,
dude. But yeah, no, it's been crazy. It's been a crazy week. There's been a lot going on, but it's all good stuff.
Yeah.
But like you said, we got to make sure that we keep the things that are important in the forefront.
Yeah. Thank you for supporting me today.
You're welcome. Yeah, we just got back from visiting a Buddhist temple again, visiting our Buddhist friends. And you did a meditation sound bath.
Yeah.
Man, everybody there is just like so nice, so sweet. And yeah.
I feel very comfortable there.
I think most people would feel comfortable. I mean, I guess you could probably, if you're, depending on where you're at, but
the space that they've created and what they created
it's just
is very opening, right?
Yeah, very welcoming.
Yeah, there you go. Very welcoming.
Yeah.
And I just ended up, well, you actually, it's so funny, led us there. And it's hilarious because when I first met Hung,
yeah,
her and I, it's having that, I don't know how else to explain it, but that telepathy where there's no words being being expressed, but there's this very intense feeling. And with that intense feeling, it's almost as if you are sharing and experiencing each other. Like last night.
Yeah. It's when you have those moments of like genuine sincerity and kindness and love.
Yes. And what I've noticed when there's a lot of hidden secrets, this is probably from my Soul to Soul podcast, but when there's a lot of hidden things or things that maybe even the person is unaware of, but there's hurt or there's unhealed wounds within, you can see it. And those that are not ready won't allow you to see them. I know this is sounding crazy. But when someone is open, because there's nothing to hide or they're authentic, I guess. They got to the point in their life where authenticity, like that's who they are. But anyways, when I saw her, we had that moment, and it wasn't just a moment. It was a long moment where nothing was being said, but there were tears. Like we were sharing that moment. And she looked at me and she said, "Who led you here?" And I turned around and I looked at you and I said,
and I was picking my nose.
I said, "The one who doesn't believe." And
is that what you said?
She started laughing.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
That's what you said to her?
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
But started laughing.
You know what?
Because you have been that person for me. You have been that person with like just now I'm going off, but you have been that person for me. You've been that like key that has opened up those types of experiences for me.
Yeah.
And she knew, her and I, when I said that and she started laughing, the laugh was coming from I am. Yeah. And that's why we both started laughing, because we, yeah. And I don't know if I ever shared that with you, but You
No.
have been that key for me. And last night, there was a moment. And that's exactly how I feel.
Yeah.
Like deeply.
Yeah.
Like for me, that's it's that knowing of, and it's me stepping into that, right? Like I see you have stepped into that and I'm stepping into that. And when you step into that, that's when you become unstoppable.
Yeah.
Like you say.
It's funny because you said that you pointed to me and you're like the one that doesn't believe.
Mm-hmm.
And one thing I wanted to share about this experience that we had going to this Buddhist temple. This is my second time going there. You've been there a few times.
Yes.
And I've only, I haven't been there only because we've been, like you guys have been hearing, we've been back and forth to Vegas and we've been doing a bunch of stuff and we just haven't had the chance to go back. And today, as busy as we were, it just worked out and it's like, you know what, let's go. Let's do it. And it was great. It was awesome. I love it. And what I wanted to say was that I encourage everybody to go have these experiences.
Mm-hmm.
Because even though you say that I don't believe, this is all part of us, I feel.
Yes.
Like, I may not believe in the story of the Bible, but it is real. As crazy as that sounds, like you may not understand what I'm saying, like, but it is real. Like, look at how many people follow it around the world and have followed it.
Mm-hmm.
It is a real thing. And it is us. You can't separate it from us.
Right. So,
But you can't separate any of it from us. And that's the thing, is that a lot of times we get fixated on one thing, but all of it is us. All of it.
mm-hmm.
The people that live in tribes that don't know anything but that is us too. It's all part of our story. It's how we got to this place. And I may not literally believe the things word for word, but it is part of our story. Mm-hmm. And that is human nature. That is still sacred to me. And it's beautiful. And it's hard to deal with sometimes. But it's still us.
So when I had mentioned to her, the one that doesn't believe, because you are it. And we both know. We both knew that. Do you understand? I don't know if you understand that.
Yeah.
It was like a ha-ha, like he doesn't believe, but yet he's it. Like it is it.
Like Carl Jung says, when you know, you don't have to believe.
And I think that's where the challenges for a lot of people, including me, because of still like the conditioning, right?
Yeah.
And like I'm becoming more aware of it in my speech when I talk. Like you the other day, I think we were saying grace, or I said our Father, and you had said something. Is it a father?
Yeah.
And that's when I was like, I even said, I'm like, that's my conditioning.
And that's good.
You know? Because, man, when you've been in it for so long, it takes time. It takes being aware.
Yeah.
That's what it is. It takes time to listen, to be aware, to be mindful, like all those things. And it's not something from one day to the next.
And I don't know if this will help you to understand, because I know it's hard for you to believe that it's similar or it's been. But you can see, I think, or at least I'm trying to explain how big this thing is, right? It's way bigger than Christianity. It's so much bigger than Christianity.
It is. Christianity is putting
It's a part of it.
It in a box.
It's a small part of who we are. Because we are way bigger than all of that. And that one time when I had those Mormon kids come to the house, and we were talking about all these different things, and I ended up sharing a video with them that I shared on Facebook recently. I don't know if you saw that I shared that. And I put up a question that said, it was a story about an astronaut that went out to space, and they were asked if they saw God when they were in space. And the astronaut said, yes, she is black. She is black.
Mm-hmm.
And look that up. It's it's a video from Alan Watts on YouTube. If you look up Alan Watts, she is black, it'll come up. It's like a 13-minute video. But it relates to space and the unknown and what is out there. And knowing that everything that makes up humans on Earth and everything that you see on Earth, the particles, everything on the periodic table, is all part of the same stuff that makes up the stars, that makes up the other planets, that makes up the sun, that is in our universe, right? Our kids came from us, and their DNA is the same as ours. Our DNA is the same of that of the universe. And when the astronaut is in space looking out the window, all you see is black. You don't see stars. It's just black space. And if you were to think that life comes from women, I came from a woman. You came from a woman. Everything that is alive, I mean, humans. We start getting into like bacteria and all that shit. I don't know. We start getting scientific, but it might break down there. And at that point, I don't know. That's okay. But when you look out into space, there's a good chance that whatever is out there, our universe is made up of whatever that is. Mm-hmm. But we don't know what that is. So when they asked the astronaut, being that things come from women, space is black, he said she is black. So I'm sharing this with these Mormon kids that came over. And I'm telling you that even like Christianity is a part of it, a small part of this big thing, that if you really take all of it into existence, like from the time people were in caves all the way through, like that's all, like I don't forget these things. Like this is all part of, how could you say that I don't believe? How could you say I don't believe? That is a fucking belief. That is a hell of a belief.
You say.
Right? No, I do. I have a belief. This is my belief. So I shared with these kids, the Mormon kids, the story of the Voyager spacecraft and what that is. And if you don't know, look it up. Because it's the spacecraft where they put it together in the 70s, and it has a golden record that they shot this spacecraft into space. And it's so, like, they thought about it in a way that these are geniuses. Like, some of the smartest people that ever lived thought about this thing and put it together, because they knew that if something ever found this thing, they wouldn't even know how to operate it. But they based it all off of an element like hydrogen. And if you're a being in space that can travel through space or whatever, kind of like how we can to a limited basis, right? We can only get so far. You have to, at the minimum, understand the properties of hydrogen. And if you know that, then you can kind of decode the rest of the information that is on this spacecraft. And if you can do that and play the record that is on that spacecraft, you will hear the sounds of Earth. You will hear birds chirping. You will hear kids in different languages saying hello from the children of Earth. Mm-hmm. There is our formulas for gravity, for math. There's music on there. There's pictures. There's a way to be able to see the pictures of what a waterfall looks like, to see what a gorilla looks like, to see all these different things of what our planet is. Mm-hmm. Because this is not going to last forever. It just won't. Yeah. I know we like to think that, like, it's a hard thing to think about, but nothing lasts forever. This is going to get wiped out eventually. The sun will burn up. We'll wipe ourselves out. We'll get hit by an asteroid. Something's going to happen. Mm-hmm. So when I was thinking about these kids and thinking about like what they did with this spacecraft and like just putting all of this stuff together, I had a moment in the kitchen where, I mean, this is big. Mm-hmm. Not only that, but also taking into account how wrong some people see this and what that does and the essence of life, and knowing that this thing's going to end and that none of this stuff really matters, like, and how people could go through life so misguided and all these things, and it all just accumulated. And I had a moment where I just had my head down on the fucking counter and I started crying, listening to this song, thinking about all these things. And I can't explain the feeling that I had. But it was exactly very similar to last night.
Yes. Yes. I'm saying yes because I understand. Because last night, I think that was one of the most intense moments that we had, where I felt you let me in. Like, really let me in. And when you let me in, I saw God.
Oh, geez.
And I told you that.
Yeah.
And the reason why I was getting emotional outside was the same reason why you were getting emotional inside and you had your head down on the counter. That was it.
And you say that. But the one thing that I know, that I remind myself all the time, you're not unique. And you're not special. Because there's billions, and there's been billions. You are one of many. You know, like
why can't we all be special?
I know.
No, like.
Yeah. I'm just saying, that's a lot. That's a lot for you to say that, like, I let you in and that you saw God. That's fucking way too much, dude. Like, take it easy.
Do you know what I meant by that?
Yeah, no, I know.
Not idolizing you.
I know.
I'm talking about love. I explained all that to you last night.
Yeah. I don't know.
Think about everything that was said.
Yeah.
That's what I meant.
I get it. But I'm not different. I'm not. And I know it. That is what I think that sends us down a wrong path.
Yeah. It does.
When you think you're different. That's why, I don't know, we got to wrap this up here, but it kind of goes back to what I was talking to my mom about, talking to my dad about. Like, everybody's got a story.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's got a story. You know? Everybody's been through something.
Mm-hmm.
Some people are doing amazing, and you have no clue the shit that they went through to get to where they are today. And that's great. And some people are struggling, and you have no idea what they've gone through. But at the end of the day, nothing's going to fucking last. Like, enjoy this thing. And have grace for people, because they all have a story. And I really do feel like I mean, you can find examples of it. If you were in the same situation, you'd be the same. If you had the same exact experiences, you'd be the same.
Everybody handles things like they handle them in the best way that they can.
You know, kind of.
You know, when you look at when I look at my family, like my siblings, none of us are the same.
No.
We all have different stories. Though we grew up in the same house.
Yeah.
We have different traumas, different experiences, different stories. And the way you handle them depends on the lens that you're seeing through.
Yeah. In a simple way, and something that's recent. COVID. Where you have people that feel one way about it, or did feel one way. And I think there's like, it's going to get hard for people because there's so much that has come out now that it's hard to like stay with the belief of
right.
Like,
of what they told us,
of what they wanted us to do, what they told us, what we were supposed to be doing, and all this other stuff. But the thing is that I've always had my belief on the whole thing, whatever that may be. But I also feel that if I lived somewhere else and I was surrounded by people that thought differently, I know we want to think that we wouldn't think that way because it just doesn't make sense. And you don't know. Yeah. You just don't. And I have a great example. Like, I grew up in New York, so I have so many friends and family, and I live in Arizona now. And it's two different ways of living. The politics are different. It's all different. And I think to myself, if I never left, would I think that way? Probably, maybe. Does that make me a bad person? It makes me human. But I just recognize it, and I'm not going to judge them for the way they think.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. Something
that I want to get into next week that kind of goes to all this stuff is that paradox video that I shared with you about how an author will write a book, and in the preface of the book, they write this thing out kind of saying that through this book, they've done their best to go through and edit, and they did the best they could with this book. They tried to find all the mistakes and edit it the best they could. But they're kind of like saying, I'm sorry, because you might find some mistakes.
Mm-hmm.
And that is the truth, right?
We'll get into that next week.
But they know that they've been through the book 100 times. And they did the best they could. And if you ask them, are there mistakes in the book? They'll say yes. Mm. Where are they? I don't know. Mm-hmm. Because we did the best we could. We've been through it.
Right.
What about your beliefs? Is it possible that 100% of your beliefs are true? Probably not. But if you go through your beliefs one by one, which one would you say is it? Which one would you say is not true? It'd be hard to find. And when you know that, just having that thought can help you have grace for people. Because it's so hard. And with that, this was a long one. Oh my God.
You wouldn't shut up. No.
That was you, yo.
Thank you guys for your love. Thank you for your support. And thank you for watching Opposites Attract podcast.
Before we get better
together. Bye.